The relatives of those who died from a gas leak in Boksburg are inconsolable this morning. At least 16 residents of the Angelo Informal settlement lost their lives after inhaling nitrate oxide leaked from a gas cylinder. This highly toxic gas was reportedly used for illegal mining activities. 16 more people remain in hospital this morning for urgent medical care. 3 of them, we're told, are in a critical condition. Now, Newzroom Afrika spoke to some of the distraught families on the scene just a short while ago. Let's take you live to the scene in Boksburg now, where we find my co-anchor Ayanda Nyati. Inconsolable, heartbroken residents this morning following the deaths of 16 people, women and children included.
Absolutely. Inconsolable is just one of the many adjectives. People here are reeling, Michelle. It's an incredibly devastating state of affairs. But let's get you up to speed with what we know so far. We understand this is a story that actually goes all the way back to Saturday or Sunday, sometime during the weekend, when those people who are involved in this illegal mining that's taking place here somehow got access illegally to the cylinder which contains in it nitrate oxide. That particular substance is actually used as raw material for the extraction of some of the minerals they're looking for. We understand in this particular instance it's gold. The difficulty here, of course, is that if it's not handled properly, this may in fact lead to some kind of leak, and once inhaled in large volumes can lead to the flooding of the lungs and essentially become a medical emergency that could claim people's lives. And of course now we know 16 of those people in this particular area sadly suffered that kind of fate, essentially having the flooding of the lungs that led to suffocation. Standing, stationed right behind me is a massive pathologist truck, as well as several other officials who are also present here. It's just incredible how quickly things have become so quickly. So I'm going to step out of shot very quickly. My colleague Kay is behind the lens, and he'll show you just the amount of work that's being done still to try and essentially retrieve some of those bodies much deeper in the township and bring them here to the entrance of Angelo Informal Settlement where we're stationed, and effectively move them into the much larger truck which is in your shot at the moment. Those in the know, those who are speaking to us off the record, tell us that the only time you see a truck like this is when there is massive devastation. In fact, as I speak to you, I'm sure you can hear a chopper also hovering behind us, getting some kind of aerial view of the situation here in an attempt to map up a way out of this particular informal settlement. And of course, you know, part of the questions that arise here also have to do with human settlement. I mean, whether it's Distraught, a place like Alexandra Township, or here in Boksburg at Angelo Informal Settlement, we're often told by authorities that what compounds the problem is their inability to navigate the space as quickly as they need to in order to get people out in instances where time is of the essence. So we'll continue certainly monitoring some of the movement as it takes place where we're at, but we're watching the story from vantage points, or multiple vantage points, as to say. And Ngobile Matala is much closer to where the leak itself actually happened. She's gotten an opportunity to speak to some of those people who you mentioned, Michelle, are absolutely inconsolable. And Ngobile, if you're able to hear us, of course, some of those attempts to get those who sadly lost their lives out still continue.
Very difficult indeed. In fact, one of the ladies was just explaining to me how she is worried about how she's going to sleep at night after what she had to go through, having had to pick up some of the bodies, having had to try and feel if the person is still alive or they have fainted. And you know, most of the people would not be trained for such. So it also comes with the psychological damage, as well as the fact that your sympathy will allow you to do such things. But it's very difficult for her, having moved moved in just simply right now, like 2 days ago. But there are families that have lost the people that they love. And the women that join me now have lost a father-in-law, and a husband, I understand. So I'm going to start with the sister before I come to you, Mama. Sisi, ngiyanibona niyakhala, ngiyazi ukuthi kubuhlungu. Anisichazele nje ukuthi ubani odlulile. Khuluma igama la.
Lazar Mondlane.
All right. Ubaba lo uyini kuwena mama?
Indoda yami.
Kwenzakaleni izolo?
Wendle isilo sa strong strike. Abantu bonke bawile. Semina uma mthuthuma ngejeni.
Kwenzaka ubaba ubeke phi yena?
Akununga isilo sa strong. Sinunga konke.
And mama nina nihlala kephi la?
Ngihlala khona konjeni.
So manje njengoba ubaba edlulile sekuzokwenzakalani ke nidinga usizo njani? Umama niyakwazi ukukhuluma izulu? Yebo, mawungase nje umsizi ubaba, umama uthi akasezwa. Ningadinga usizo njani njengoba ubaba esedlulile?
Ubhoti udlulile emhlabeni. Asikwazi ukuthi ekhaya uzofika kanjani yena, usibizo uzophila kanjani. Sicela ukusiza.
Ekhaya kukephi mawami?
Uye eMozambique.
Njengoba edlulile udlule I1 kwenzakaleni nimfice njani?
Yena kufamily yakhe udlule I1 kodwa abaningi abantu bashonile. Asibazi nekwaluma ukuthi abangani asibabonanga abanye bathole emfuphini. And asiyazi ukuthi kwenzakaleni yini into ebulale abantu.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngokukhuluma nathi nemama. Okay, so Michelle, just to put it into perspective, of course, the lady that's here is a sister-in-law to Lazarus, I understand, and Lazarus is the husband to the lady that's here. But she also is saying that basically they're coming from Mozambique. They're saying that they need some assistance. And of course you hear that there's a lot of noise here because there's a helicopter that's hovering over us. But they're basically saying that they need some assistance to take him home. They are here, of course, to work, but this incident just took them at a time. The lady here has a child that she needs to take care of, and they need to consult with the family. And just at this point, very sad indeed, very difficult for her. You can see she's very emotional. So they just need to know what is the way forward with regards to what happened. But they're confused in terms of what really occurred because the person just got affected. And of course there are officials that are coming in as I speak to you and I speak to the people. So I'm going to bring you in to sort of have a conversation. But we're hearing from the lady here. She's saying home is very far. It's in Mozambique. And I understand you've spoken to some of the people that are on the ground as well. Tell us what they've told you.
Well, we're told that a cylinder gas was opened, and we don't know what type of a gas is that, and it has claimed actually more than 16 people, 16 lives. So we don't, the number that we know of is only 16. So we may not know how much more the gas actually killed. But it's such, we don't even know what type of a gas is that. But it seems to be a very extremely dangerous gas that actually claimed the lives of those people.
All right. So we'll let you keep talking to the people so far. Michelle, as you can hear, they're the officials trying to figure out what is really happening on the ground and what kind of gas was there. But the family is still just inconsolable because it's so difficult. Ayanda, I'm pretty sure where you are, you have found more people?
Well, not exactly in Mobile, but we are still watching very closely as authorities continue to arrive here. In fact, as I speak to you, More cars are pulling up. Look, very unconfirmed reports as well that we may very well hear from government at a national level, given the extent of the devastation that's taken place. But for now, it's still trying to piece together, A, just how bad the situation is, and B, what it will take to ensure that it doesn't get any worse than it already is.
All right, to our team on the ground there at various spots in Boksburg, Ayanda Nyati, my co-anchor, and Ngobile Matlala, thanks very much indeed.